If you can't get your leaders to lead in the way to drive the company to new heights, you're not getting there. So we're investing into our leadership. Also, we have introduced multi-skilled workforce. Before you have one man, he can drive a light-duty vehicle, one can drive a heavy-duty vehicle, one can operate a shovel, one can lay a brick, one can do this. We want people to be able to do everything. Yeah? So we're just looking at multi-skilled so that the time can be used efficiently and you can do two things with one man. Yeah? Then we have approval from our board, and I think we signed a contract to move many of our facilities in Muscat that we have to the Gazan area near Barca. So we will have our plant, our wood workshop, carpentry workshop, painting, scaffolding, and many other areas. We have all concentrated in that area. And the last point is effective harmonization. Harmonization, it is not a number game in our company. Yeah? We want for every hour that we pay, we want an hour of work, wherever you come from. Yeah? And we are managing that by hiring both expat and Omanis, training the Omanis, lesser the expats because they say come trained. Yeah? Training good through a program to become the employees that are good for the company. Then we know in this business, if you want to survive, you need to be fast and cheap and deliver the required quality. Yeah? If you're not fast and cheap, you may as well pack up today. Yeah? The market is at the moment extremely competitive. Yeah? And I also see that certain jobs are going for a price even if they want to give me to it. In the best, the wildest of my dreams, I cannot do it for that amount of money. Only later we know if the other party can do it. Yeah. So we are focusing on all the risks and opportunities before we tender. We analyze in extreme great detail, then we tender. Yeah. You have part of that, of the speed, is a rapid mobilization team. We have camps all over the place. We can pick them up, put them somewhere else and start quickly. Alternative execution methods. Using modern technologies on our earth-moving equipment, on our laying of tripods in the port and so on. Everything these days we have to apply value engineering. See how we can do the same thing cheaper. If you don't do it, you will not be in business. Yeah? Manpower productivity tools. We measure each and every person. You have to think like this. If you have one person working for you, you know exactly what he does. If he's not working, you kick him. If you have 20,000 people, you should have the same attitude. Because otherwise some people will do not what you want them to do. So the whole management structure, the giving tasks, daily targets, daily measurement, daily reporting and follow-up, all we've pushed and pushed and pushed. Yeah? And we will not stop. This is a process that will never stop. The moment you stop, the thing will go down. And strong internal controls. Control on procurement, control on subcontract, control on general expenditure, control on electricity, on water, on fuel, and so on. Then the next step of those four-pronged approaches, we take a very blunt approach. We only work for customers who pay and who have a desire to finish a job and close it out. Yeah? We have certain jobs, certain customers, they go on 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years before, after the work, before the final account is agreed. We don't see the fun in that. We don't see any benefit for our shareholders, so we take a simple approach. We don't work there anymore. And then looking in other countries. Yeah? So in Kuwait, we tendering, we have a setup there. Iraq is next door, yeah, which has opportunities, but you need to be extremely careful. And East Africa is where we're looking at the moment. I think this strengths will be, this will be my last slide, so you have the time for questions. So we have maintained ourselves as a very significant player in Oman, yeah, in oil and gas, and roads and bridges, and many infrastructure work. We have a huge experience and knowledge. If anything needs to be happen in a big way and fast, you can call us and it will happen. We have specifics with the equipment that we have, with the people and the expertise that we have. So we are in many places the preferred contractor, but these days everything is going straight with competitive tendering, so our pricing is an extremely important thing. And we also have one thing is that we value quality in a big way. So quite a few of the developments you see here, we will not be involved because they are of a level of quality that does not require our competencies. Opportunities that we have is many innovative new techniques are available and equipments are available. We have alliances with well-renowned, world-class contractors from other countries. We work with companies from Belgium, from France, from Italy, from Turkey, from India, and we only work with the best who have a known capability and have money as well to support their business. We see more opportunities in oil and gas and refinery upstream and downstream stream work, so we will pursue those, and like I said, Kuwait is the next one. The weaknesses that we have, our weakness at the moment may be that we are a construction company. Because we are not the favor of the bank, we are not the favor in many places, and construction at the moment is a difficult market. Many markets go through cycles, chemical goes every 7 years, and I hope construction also goes every 7 years, so we see the end of the difficulty in the market. Then the other thing that is a thing that we have to understand the threat very carefully is the continuous changes of regulations and requirements. Take the diesel price change. One fine day, an announcement, the diesel price change too. See how you collect that money back where your rights are is very difficult. But the diesel you pay immediately, otherwise the supply stops. Last year we paid 2.7 million, I believe, more just because of the price of diesel. We've taken it as a cost, we have not taken anything as income, but in many contracts we have an entitlement. We have entitlements for change in labor law. Some of it have been paid, some have not been paid. So with that, now I read in the newspaper we get insurance. So first thing is we have to pay. Next thing is how am I going to get that money back? We ourselves, we have a number of doctors, we have clinics all over the country, and a whole lot of nurses. So we serve ourselves, and whoever goes to outside hospitals, we pay for that. So a new system will come, will cost us more money, so we have to see how we get that back. So I hope I gave you a little bit of flavor of our company. We're a construction company, we're determined, we know our job, and we will succeed. We have a number of things against us at the moment that we are battling in full force and full knowledge of what they are. So thank you for coming here, and I think now this question and answer, if any, can start.
My first question was going back to the slide with the receivable. You said that you had a team specialized on this market. My question, I think it's a positive, My question, do you think the team will be able to, get good receivable, in terms of like monthly basis, like you are looking every month 10 million, you said?
20 million? Okay. And the majority of, the receivable or the pending, is it from the government side? And did you reach any, let's say agreement, especially with the government?
So our aim is to bring that receivable down and to collect more money than that we spend. So in the last 2 years, and the year before, we managed to bring that down. Actually, one good indicator is our borrowing in 2014 was 210 million. Today, I think it's 115 million today. Yeah, so that is what we have brought down. If we would collect these receivables, which are mainly controlled by lack of funds from the client, if we would collect those, our borrowings would go down to 40 million or so. Yeah? We would be in a very comfortable and perfect state. Yeah? Now, we go over billing. Our bills should go out within a few days of the end of the month. Is one process. The second is we follow through on the certification of the bills. And the bill is certified, we follow through that the bill is going into the MOF or other payment places. We follow up in MOF, we follow up wherever the money is, and we'll see that happens. So that is a very detailed focus on it, and where the things are not going, we've had done that last year a number of times, we stop the work. Because I cannot keep on spending money if I don't receive. So we've had 3-4 jobs last year that I've stopped. Yeah. I give you one example, airport catering facility could have been finished. Yeah, but with no money I cannot print money. So this is a difficult, it is not a Galfar problem. We suffer from the problem, but it is with all our competitors. Yeah, so everywhere we have that, and again, I'm not complaining. I understand the difficulty of the country. Yeah, but you have to, and that's why we're repositioning. Yeah? If we can avoid being part of a problem, better.
Thank you, gentlemen, for the detailed, candid presentation. I had a few questions. The first one is on your order book. If you look at your billing, your total revenue that you generated, it's been close to 270 million over the last 2 years. But your order book addition has been 150 million last year and 100 million before that. And I take your point, you made this point before that you could easily get it up to 400, 500 million if you had to compete on margins, which is what you don't want to do. And you obviously at the same time contracted your employees from 27,000 to 20,000 now. Going forward, I mean, given that you've only been able to add 100 to 150 million real, do you see your revenue run rate coming down further? That's one. And where do you see it stabilizing in the current market? My second question is, again, something you mentioned in the past that stuck with me is, at the end of the day, this is a low margin business. And even the guys who are doing well in good times are doing 2.5 to 3% net margins. I looked at it even last year, I compared some GCC companies as well, and your parent company did 2.1%, I think you're the best guy did 2.5, 2.6% net margin. Is this the absolute limit that you can do in a good sort of scenario, in a blue sky scenario, the 2.5%? Is the net margin going forward that you see for this industry? Or that you mentioned that your focus is on oil and gas and EPC, which tend to be higher margin. Do you see these margins stabilizing at a higher level? So those are my 2 questions for now. I have a couple of more, I'll come back to it.
Okay, well, I heard like 10 questions, so I tried to answer what you said. I think the first thing you asked, your order book is lesser. What is the future? Yeah. Now, our order book is less intentionally, because certain things we just don't want to do. Now, in the market at the moment are quite a few big jobs. And big jobs, I think, where the client is serious. We have tendered for one big road job where I have checked even with the tender board that we're serious on that job. So that's one. There's a second big one that we will tender for this year. We've tendered for some big jobs in public authority for water. We've also tendered for significant jobs in oil and gas. So if our prices that we've put forward, in my opinion, are very sharp. And we have taken on board all the initiatives I said. If we win them, we're good. If we don't win them, then our turnover from 280 could become 200. But better to have 200 and make money than to have 400 and make loss. That's one thing. The same thing, that's why we are active in Kuwait. Yeah, and we're stepping up more and more. Of course, the grass is not always greener on the other side. there are other problems there. So again, we start very careful with all our risk and all effort to make it right. I would think that the problem of no money is not going away this year, is not going away next year. Yeah, it may take a few years to go and balance out to something. But of course, a country like this will have a need for infrastructure and for development and further industrialization. And I would expect in a number of years that the market will become a better market for contractors. We had good market in 2006 and 2007. Yeah, we have bad market and we have good market. We're there in good times and in bad times. Yeah. Quite often people say in the bad time is the best for you because you learn how to save money, and apply it later on. That was your first question. The second one, what was that?
The net margins, when do you see it stabilizing?
Okay, that's what I just answered.
I think I can add to your the net margin. If you look at the cost index, there has been a good amount of cost reduction in the operating at gross margin level that has gone up. But however, the margins what we get is eaten away by the finance charges, which is coming to nearly 7 million, which you will see that it is to ensure the rotation happens and the creditors are paid in time. Should we get the collection in time, this cost would not be there definitely. Should we, will not be there, and to the extent of nearly 2.5% to 3% we can improve our margin. We are looking at that. Probably once some of the old outstandings are cleared in the year, we have already started getting some money out of hire during the year, and we expect more and more collection of the very old outstandings. And if that is true, we can definitely see an improvement in our margins.
If I may, one more question. Hans, you mentioned in passing that there's a change in insurance law that's going to come up, and that will mean an additional burden to you in terms of cost. Now, you said obviously in some of your contracts you are entitled to this increase, but given the past experience that you faced in many contracts, there's been change in minimum wage for Omanis, there's been changes in the diesel prices, all of that. What has your experience been? Has it been easy for you to claim this money from the government or your other contractors, or is this going to be an additional cost that we'll have to live with as company shareholders?
So we have the attitude that what is in the contract is meant to be applied. So if the contract says that it is our entitlement, we will put a claim for the entitlement and we will not stop till we get the money. Yeah? We have received quite a bit of money already for changes in the labor law. Yeah? It's not an easy process because you send from one place to the other place, but at the end we have received at many places and we will not stop. Look at myself, I'm an employee of Galfar. My job is to deliver to the shareholders what should be delivered. So we're not stopping anywhere. We'll keep going until we get our dues. Now, this change in insurance, I don't know how that is going to go, but I do know wherever we work, you cannot find any clinic apart from our own. Yeah? We worked in Kabut when we built Hashik-Swaimia Road. There's no one to be found 60 kilometers either any direction. Yeah? We work in places where there's no one. So there will be a period of discussion and negotiation and finding out what is the best. Yeah? And so we'll go through that to achieve what we need to achieve and also what whoever is the regulator needs to achieve. Changes cannot happen overnight. They take time to achieve, and in the process we try to optimize. I expect that many more changes will come in the future. But not all changes should be cost increase, because if everything is cost increase, the country becomes impossibly expensive. And you cannot compete in the world anymore. Not even for borrowing money.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hans and Anand, for the presentation, good presentation. I have 3-4 questions. I will start off with your transformation program, which started in 2016. Basically, are you completed it or still it's in progress? We want to know the status of the transformation program because we have seen the benefits coming in. We want to see whether it is complete and when it will be completed. And the second question is on your financial restructuring, which is also proposed at some point of time in 2017-18, but after that we couldn't get any progress on that. How do you see on that perspective? This is my couple of questions. I'll have more.
I would like to take the first question.
Yeah, on transformation, it never stops. The moment you stop, you're finished. So we have first put the journey where we are, and now put later on our four-pronged approach for the future. In contracting, cash is king. Everything is related to cost and speed of execution. So we have introduced quite a few new methods in 2018, and we will keep doing that 2019. We have introduced new technologies in road building, in port building, and we will keep on doing. Today, there's people at conferences in Germany to pick up new technology that we hope to implement. So we will not stop, we will look globally what is possible, and we will keep pushing the envelope. I'm always of the belief that if you make 10 steps in an hour, you can also make 11 steps. And that is the attitude that we want to have in our company. Once you make 11, you don't know anymore. You can do 12, and there is no limit to that. So we'll keep on pushing.
But on the cost side, I think most of them has been taken care, or how is it? Because the cost has been on the IS side. You've done the cost restructuring. That has been done, or you have further room to do the cost rationalization?
There is significant room to improve on that. And we've started with looking at the employees that we have. We started in detail looking at the actual hands-on tool time, the hours worked productively. We're looking at the kilometers driven. We're looking at the idle time of equipment. We measured that through the satellite communication. I can see here, if we type in this machine, we can see what our tippers are doing today in Ivan. So we're following and improving. But this business it's like an elastic band. You let go, it's hanging loose. You need to keep on the stretching. So that's what we're doing. Ananda?
Yeah, onto the finance restructuring, yes, so we have been continuously working on restructuring methodology. It's not that it is a one-time done, but the present divestment in respect of the India is also one of the restructuring which really helps us to restructure our balance sheet. In addition to that, during the course of the year, originally it was in 2016 that we expected that there will be an infusement of additional equity, which we waited for a certain time to see that whether the turnover takes place. Yes, when the turnaround takes place. As the turnaround is coming in place, and the divestment is happening, and then identifying the investments which are not yielding, and then ensuring that our business improvements are there. The whole restructuring is happening that way. And the major restructuring requirement is in respect of the working capital requirements. As we start collecting the money, we see that there would not be any further requirement in that area. That's how it is. And we are also in the process of investing in specific countries where, after evaluating in its full, we want to go ahead for the investment. For example, Kuwait, we have just started, and we will evaluate, and based on, in fact, we will be very, very careful in investing in those after seeing project-wise we have been asked to do this, and ensuring that we try to work with clients' money over a period of time.
Which means the equity injection option is off the table now.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
If you can confirm that. Equity injection option is off the table as of now. There is no further equity that has been discussed as of now. Please.
that is off the table as of now. The promoters, on the other hand, have supported the Indian operation with a significant amount of money by direct loan to the Indian operations. Which, from our company, it will be sold, but loan is still for promoters to finalize. So that part has significantly helped.
In fact, one of the requirement of this funding was mainly for India. And as a result of now the divestment is happening, okay, that will get stopped. So there will be no more funding that will be made from Galfar parent company to India, where during the course of last year, the promoters have helped as a loan. And they will be taking it directly, and the loan will get settled directly there. That helps really not to really infuse further investments, further equity.
But in terms of the Indian operation, there will not be any contingent liability after the sale, correct? Everything will be, if this is, because now it is complete, because there are some contingent liability which you have stated it will be passed on to the new buyer, which means eventually there will be no guarantee, nothing to the books of Galfar going forward. Correct?
That is how the arrangements have been, but the sale purchase agreement will be in place very shortly, which will address the whole thing.
Last thing, Ernst, I've been asking for the last 10 years. So what is the status of this expressway claim? Still Muscat expressway claim status?
The Muscat expressway, a number of years ago, a settlement agreement was proposed. That settlement agreement has, after a few years, been accepted because the changes in the terms and conditions of the contract were no longer applicable because all the work was finished. We have collected from that, first from ex-gratia 10 million. I think last year we have collected 5.6 million. I expect to collect the remainder of the money that has to come from the municipality this year. And the remainder of the ex-gratia payment, we are in weekly discussion with the Ministry of Finance on how to receive that money. So we have made a significant progress, and I think step by step we will get there. And we have by now collected probably 60-70 million of that.
Okay.
So I hope you cannot ask that question again next year.
One additional question on that, because in your statement you're saying that you're planning for an associate sale. Because I can see it, you're not going to sell Kuwait, which means that IWT is the associate which you're planning to sell? Because in your MDA you have stated there is one more associate you may look in for a sale.
No, as of now, nothing is in place. Maybe we will be seriously looking at the investment in the others, which is yielding, and then we work on that. As of now, nothing, except for India.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Thank you for the presentation and your time and your patience. Just a few questions. Firstly, could you just give us the value of the leftover amount from the expressway project? You mentioned you collected close to 16 to 17 million. What is the leftover amount?
Net amount of what?
Muscat Expressway.
Muscat Expressway. Net amount.
You mean the net amount, the balance amount to be collected at the moment is 22 million. Of which 3 million will come from one party and 18.9 from the other.
Okay, thank you. The next question is, could you give us the potential of the projects estimated from Kuwait? Also, what margins you expect on them, and if there are any receivable issues, or is that not a problem in Kuwait like it is in Oman? If you could give us some insights on that, please, going forward.
If the work is executed and properly supported, our research has shown that the payments are made promptly. But you need to follow the system properly, such that everything goes step by step, and with that there is no issue. Even when I spoke to the regional director of one of the main banks, he said there is three places where all payments, if they want, can all be paid today. Yeah? Kuwait and Qatar and percent. That is a way of working we cannot do. Yeah? Because you've paid 90% when you start commissioning, you only receive 40. So be very careful on those as well. We ask the client if he can change. If not change, then we cannot afford to work that way.
And if you could just give us a sense of what revenue you expect from Kuwait markets in 2019 or 2020.
We hope to get initially maybe 40-50 million contract, but before the year end I hope to have more than 100 million Kuwaiti dinars of work in hand. At the moment there's a massive amount of work in roads, in infrastructure development, and in oil and gas as well.
Excellent, thank you. Next question. You mentioned in the NDA report about pool projects and if that could be a potential. Is there any potential for that in Oman, and do you see that being a viable option? BOOT, build, operate, own and transfer option?
I think that build, own, operate and transfer is a possibility for places where you understand where the money is coming from. Yeah? If a boot project does not have an income from the project but is coming from the government, then basically it's not a boot project, it is basically finance and pay back later. Yeah? Now, if you have to collect the money yourself, like toll on roads, or there is the boot project on sewage, I don't know how you would collect your money from the client, from the user. Yeah? So we've been studying that. We have found investors that are willing to support us, but for us, wherever we work, I want to see where it comes from. If the money comes from the government with a government guarantee, that gives a high degree of certainty. If it's coming from client, like a road project, in Oman, we would be extremely careful.
Basically, to answer this, so the strength of ours is on the construction, and any SPV or any methodology by which the BOT projects gets awarded, we would like to look at the risk in its full and try to exit as and when the construction is over, so that our exposure towards the financial liability is less.
Understood. Yeah. That's it. Sorry, gentlemen. One last question. We've spoken about insurance. You've given us your brief, your thoughts on that. Just in terms of a ballpark number, what impact would it have on your cost side? This insurance, mandatory health insurance. If you could just give us a ballpark number.
I would answer it in two parts. One is on the existing projects which are going on. The second is on the new projects. The risk on account of the new projects where we are going to bid, we will be considering this particular cost very clearly, so that we are clear on that. Into the existing, yes, there will be a legislation changes which we need to put up. Every contract has got this particular clauses to the extent, and there are quite a few areas where we have been successful in getting the changes in the legislation awards. We put up the claim, but it takes a little bit of time to get that. So we will definitely pursue on that area and then get that.
If you just indulge me in one more question, if you can go to the receivable slide, where you broke up your 200 million riyal on receivable, and you said the provisioning this year has been made in line with IFRS 9 and 15. I mean, Anand spoke about that there. Can you tell me, is there an AG analysis that you've done specifically to the 35 million riyal that you have certified due? Does this include the Muscat Expressway project? If not, who are these clients and how long has this been pending for, this kind of money?
Well, I'll tell you, Muscat Expressway also has been taken for the purpose of provisioning. There are two types of provisioning which has been done. One is on bucketing of this particular, we have used KPMG as consultant to ensure that the IFRS 9 work is done with, and while doing so, the two parts which has been taken into consideration is one is the time value of money at the rate of 5% discounting methodology which has been used. Totally we have provided 2.5 million on account of the time value of money, and then an IFRS 9 which takes care of the total spread over the long has been done with and then provided. So it includes this certified due as well, because the certified due also goes for a longer time. Wherever that is longer time, the time has been taken into consideration, and we expected for each project when we will be able to collect. Some has gone up to 1 year, and the next one has been spread to the second year. We expect that before next year middle we realize the entire amount of MEW. That is how the provision under IFRS 9 has been calculated.
And the client is the municipality. You
Yeah,
can't.
that's right.
That's the client.
Originally, it was thought that IFRS 9 will not apply for. We will not put for the government, and that's how the discussion went on. However, in order to be more safe, the time value of money cannot be ruled out, and the auditor insisted that we do that. And after the board approval, we have provided that.
And any money you collect is going to be used to pay down debt and save that 6-7% that you're paying. That goes without saying, right?
Yeah, that goes without saying. And then one more thing is, as and when we start collecting these monies, the provision will get reversed.
Got it. It will get reversed.
Yeah.
Okay.
To the extent. Yes.
Got it. Thank you.
This one.
That you're very positive in Kuwait, but you already have an associate company in Kuwait, and then you have taken another approval from Galfar Oman as a branch in Kuwait. So what's the structure that you are looking at, and what's happening with the associate company that you have in Kuwait? And that company, to my understanding, is not doing so much great. So suddenly we are very positive on Kuwait. We are talking about 50 million order flow or 50 million plus order flow expected from Kuwait. So what makes the changes, and how are we going to address this?
The existing company in Kuwait is not operated by Galfar. It is an associate company, and it is operated by management, and there are a number of shareholders in that company. We are of the strong belief that there are very good opportunities, and that with the strength of Galfar Oman, we can do significant work that other company is not able to do. So for that, we have started that company, and will use our own credentials to start doing work ourselves.
So are we planning to exit the existing associate company?
Pardon?
Do we have any plans to exit from the associate company?
That we have discussed, and that may be an option to go for.
That may be done at a later stage, but as of now, what happened is we have invested. The shareholding by Galfar parent company is 26% on the Galfar Kuwait, with an investment of 6.9 million. And during the year, we have made a provision towards the impairment on that particular investment that has been done, to the extent of about 2.5 million. And on the new one, where it has gone as a branch, directly with the help of the resources which are available, the plan has been made. Our exit, to be specific on the exit, yes sir, it has not been it has not been discussed, or it has not been taken up to this AGM. Maybe in future it may be taken up.
Thank you very much.
For your attention, and I hope it was useful.